so much better when it's real.
The greatest 2 minutes in sports, the world's most coveted horse race, the Kentucky Derby, edition number 150, coming up 2 weeks from today. Welcome to the Kentucky Derby Morning Workout Show presented by Twin Spires. At Churchill Downs, the main track is fast, temperatures nearing 50 degrees, and we are happy to be joining you. Let's take a look at the headlines. We've had some workers already this morning, Catching Freedom endlessly and Just Steel, all contenders for Kentucky Derby 150. We will bring those workouts to you. In addition, we've got plenty of other workouts at 7:30 a.m., including Mage's full brother, last year's Kentucky Derby winner Mage. His full brother Dornock joins Just Touch and a plethora of others. Likely Kentucky Derby favorites Sierra Leone and Fierceness due to arrive next week at Churchill Downs. And the Oaks and Derby post positions will be drawn during Saturday's opening night program. Joe Christobeck and Kevin Kilroy, happy to be joining you as we start Kentucky Derby Morning Work Show presented by Twin Spires. And Kevin, you've been working with me at Fairgrounds the last 3 years. You've been through some huge events, man. The Risen Star, the Louisiana Derby, the Rachel Alexandra, et cetera, but nothing beats the atmosphere and the lead up to the Kentucky Derby.
Absolutely, Joe. I'm so fortunate to be here with you, with all these great horses, be able to watch and tune in so closely. Nobody could replace Scott Shapiro, one of the best handicappers in our sport.
All right, let's jump into the leaderboard right now and take a look at the 20 and those on the outside looking in. Sierra Leone, the winner of the Risen Star and the Bluegrass, as well as Fierceness of the winner of the Florida Derby. Those are our 2 points leaders and the likely favorites for Kentucky Derby 150.
Yeah, the likely favorites, and you can't forget about Catching Freedom. We'll see his work here today. But Sierra Leone and Catching Freedom, both closers. Fierceness, a more forward horse. All of them really coming into this Derby nicely.
A 20-horse starting gate, Kevin. Here are the second 10.
Yeah, what about Domestic Product? Another one from Chad Brown, the other Chad Brown, right? Wins the Tampa Bay Derby and does what Chad Brown does best, trains up to this race. He's been working lights out.
2 weeks until the Kentucky Derby, so likely some movement. These are the horses currently on the outside looking in.
Yeah, Joe, how about Common Defense? That was really nice to see him show a new dimension in the Louisiana Derby, pressing Track Phantom. Couldn't get by him, but really ran a good fifth against the race flow.
Some deep out the back closers in this year's Derby, some speed, some stalkers, just like every year. And one of the deeper out the back closers is Catching Freedom, who was good third in the Risen Star. He was the winner of the Louisiana Derby for trainer Brad Cox. And Flavion Pratt is a Kentucky Derby rider, is aboard for this workout that occurred earlier this morning.
Joe, this really reminds me of the works that he was putting in right before winning the Louisiana Derby. Begins behind his company, neck bowed, really confident, moving well, quickly joins and evens up on the outside, and then they basically kind of stay like this throughout. I was impressed with this work.
Yeah, the sparring partner here on the inside is Castle Warden. Catching Freedom, 25-2, 37-4. Official time 1 minute and 4/5, galloping out 113 and 1/5, and 7 furlongs and 126 and 1/5. Catching Freedom will be probably the third, fourth choice in the Kentucky Derby this year, and he's certainly got the resume to be a major factor. All right, let's go to Endlessly, and we've seen in recent years the Jeff Ruby Stakes has been a surprisingly key prep for the Kentucky Derby. This is the winner of this year's edition, Kevin. He's on the inside here with James Graham aboard. A yellow card is on the outside.
Yeah, so, one of the big questions with Endlessly is dirt, right? Does he like dirt as much as he does synthetic? Winner of the El Camino Real, winner of the Jeff Ruby Stakes. Watching this work this morning, I wasn't as impressed with this as some of the other efforts I've seen him do on the dirt. We can see he evens up nicely here in the stretch, but I'm watching his footing, specifically in the turns, and just don't see that confidence that you want to see a horse show that proves that they can put their best run forward on this surface.
Yeah, Endlessly going 25 flat, 36-3, 1 minute and 4/5, and struggling to keep up with the work made here as this horse has been doing his damage on synthetics, but he's got enough points in the Kentucky Derby, and it's tough to pass up on a potential once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. All right, we're going to see Just Steel's work for Dwayne Lucas a little bit later on in the program after the live training session, but I want to remind everybody about some great promotions at Twin Spires, the Derby Week money back promotion. It's the best racing week of the year, and Twin Spires has got you covered with this great promo. The first race on opening night Saturday, April 27th, through the last race on Kentucky Derby Day, Saturday, May the 4th, Twin Spires is offering insurance on your win bets on all eligible races at Churchill Downs in the form of a $10 money back offer. And races with at least 5 horses earn your money back on win bets, up to $10 if your horse runs second. And in races with at least 8 horses, earn your money back on win bets up to $10 if your horse runs second or third. Head to twinspires.com or the Twin Spires app, select offers page, and opt in to participate in the Derby Week money back offer. Also, every Thursday of the meet, including opening Thursday, Thurby, it's a leaderboard contest. Take your handicapping skills to the next level and make Thurby even sweeter by taking part in the $2,500 Thurby leaderboard contest at Twin Spires. For each race at Churchill Downs on Thurby, make at least a $10 win wager on a single horse and earn points if that horse runs first, second, or third. Watch your horse win, climb the leaderboard, earn your share of the $2,500 prize pool. The contest is free to enter. All you have to do is head to twinspires.com or the trusty Twin Spires app, select the offers page, and opt in to the Thurby leaderboard contest. There's Dornock on the racetrack, Kevin, and he's certainly got the family connection to be Kentucky Derby 150 winner with his older full brother, Mage, scoring in an upset last year.
Yeah, remember Mage, a closer who was able to get it done from the back. Dornock, I think we've seen is proven best on the lead or near the lead, though a little bit of an experiment last out in the bluegrass, coming from off of it, training up to that from behind company to try to get ready for maybe taking some dirt in the Derby, which can happen if the trip doesn't work out perfectly. I understand the reasoning behind trying to get that going, but it just didn't work out quite the way I think we would have wanted to see.
Dornock with Luis Sai is going to work in company with his stablemate Society Man. And we saw Society Man in his most recent race run much better than he had in previous starts. In fact, he was a huge long shot and did come through with an on-the-board performance, second in the Wood Memorial at 106-1 behind Resilience. So trainer Danny Gargan, former jockey agent who's done very well as a trainer here in recent years, not only with Dornock in the Derby, but also Society Man, and 2 horses with different running styles, Kevin. Dornock, a horse that likes to go to the front. Society Man, a horse that likes to come from off the pace. So it'll be interesting to see how these two match up during this workout this morning.
Yeah, interesting to see how they match up. Interesting to see the design. I assume that we'll see Dornock back on the lead and trying to hold off Society Man. Dornock is really great at fighting off bids, but we'll see how they line up here. We can see him getting rolling on the backside here, or actually on the front side as they go into that first turn. Society Man, won the maiden before the Wood Memorial, really moved forward in a great way. Could be showing us more. It's proven the distance is really great for him. Just hasn't put too many quality foes behind him yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed, at least seemingly on paper, in this year's Derby, and there always seems to be more speed than you think when they actually run the race. What are we seeing here, Kevin, and these 2 horses, putting themselves in position to break off and start this workout? And again, 2 weeks out, this is a very, very important work leading up to the Kentucky Derby.
Absolutely. This penultimate workout is sometimes the most important. We're really a lot of pressure is on it, as you might not want to ask too much in that week right before the big race. But we can see a nice tight hold on Society Man, just making sure that we stay pretty close to even. They're not getting too much distance there. Sometimes we'll see the inside foe go way out ahead and give a little bit of a target for the outside foe. But maybe we're going to let Dornock to the front. I think that's a question mark here. How are we going to set this up?
Certainly looks a little bit eager. I mean, you would think that would be the game plan between the two of them. Again, Dornock with Luis Saez aboard in company with Society Man. Others are scheduled to work here during the designated training period. Just a Touch, a Mystic Dan, Tarifa, Kentucky Oaks horse, along with Gin, Torpedo Anna. Just a few of the horses that you'll see on the Kentucky Derby Morning Work Show as they break off here, Kevin.
Yeah, so breaking off with Dornock just a little bit behind, but quickly puts his nose in front. Society Man, the only chestnut in the field heading to the Kentucky Derby. You can see him there on the inside with that white stripe. So they're going even. They're both moving well. I like their energy that I'm seeing from them right now, Joe. Dornock's still a little bit behind there. Society Man noses back in front.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because this workout will be, the most serious drill. Next week, we'll see them do a little bit more light work. Not only are they going to, work pretty strongly here over a solid 5 furlongs, but you also want to see a lot in the gallop out.
Yeah, you want to see a lot in the gallop out. They often great stories about big Derby winners who have galloped out all the way to the track kitchen, which is almost to the beginning there of the far turn. So you want to see that energy all the way through.
We're going to move over to Mystic Dan now for trainer Ken McPeak and Brian Hernandez Jr. And you see him on the outside of his workmate here. And this is a horse that I thought, as a 2-year-old was more of a sprint type, but he certainly has proven himself around 2 turns this winter at Oaklawn, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a great win in the slop with a perfect trip to get that win in the Rebel, and ran a wide effort there in the Arkansas Derby, so maybe better than looked in terms of finishing position. But he's always showed athleticism. The horse that was with us at Fairgrounds over the winter. And I think he moves really well here today. So that's a typical work for Mystic Dan. Nice low head carriage and moving evenly with his inside stablemate.
We will get you the information as far as, and it's Northern Flame, another nice 3-year-old that he worked with there, was borderline, on the Kentucky Derby Trail in his own right. We'll get you the times, all that information slowly coming in. Again, the place to find these times immediately, Kevin Kirstein does just such an amazing job with his Twitter account. So if you want to catch those almost in real time, you can tune in to Kevin. We'll get them as soon as they become available to us. We've got Forever Young on the track. I don't think he's going to have a published breeze today, Kevin, but the Japanese training regimen is different than what we do. And, we would call this more of a speed gallop. Looks like he's going at a pretty good clip. Maybe he will get a time.
Yeah, there was remember last year that we saw some workouts like that from Dermasoda Gake where we weren't sure if it was a full workout or not. Maybe just a couple furlongs going fast and slowing up. A unique training pattern. We get to see these Japanese horses come over and learn how they do what they do. Usually he spends about 45 minutes out on the track, about 20 minutes walking around the chute and just sort of getting comfortable, getting out there, letting his mind open up and just be a horse on the track as much as possible.
Yeah, this is a horse that's a perfect 5 for 5. And, we have not seen the UAE Derby be a very, powerful prep coming into the Kentucky Derby, but the Japanese every year seem to bring better and better horses. A lot of people believe that this is the best shot they've had so far. And, like you said, Dermasoda Gake with a better trip last year could have even had a better finish than he did. He certainly turned out to be a very legitimate horse moving forward. So Forever Young, the winner of the UAE Derby, representing Japan this year, along with the horse that was the Invite, who we've yet to see, who is yet to arrive. And that horse, T.O. Password, is another one that should show early speed from the gate. So 2 Japanese representatives here, Forever Young on the grounds, and we are awaiting the arrival of T.O. Password.
Yeah, Forever Young looks great, just moving with energy. You can see ears perked and pointing forward, seems to be adjusting well to his new environment here in Kentucky.
Resilience, not working today. In fact, he worked just the other day for Bill Moth. This is a horse that is just getting out for a gallop. I don't believe he was on the racetrack yesterday following his work day. I believe it was Thursday. showing good energy on the racetrack. And this is a lot of people believe this horse will continue to move forward, Kevin. He was 4th in the Risen Star. We were there for the Risen Star. Sierra Leone, Track Phantom, Catching Freedom, probably the deepest prep top to bottom. Resilience was 4th in that race, came back to win the Wood.
Yeah, Resilience put the blinkers on and moved forward in a big way. I thought that was a nice effort, got big figures for it. And yeah, his energy looks fantastic, right? He just worked on Thursday with Just FYI, worked well together. Easy work there, 4 furlongs, going 50 seconds, 50 and 1. Moving nicely here this morning. I think he's enjoying this track and showing everything that you want to see, as Resilience definitely a horse that we always knew could get the distance and should move forward with the distance. I think the blinkers helped him get over some maturity issues.
Bill Mott, who won the Kentucky Derby via disqualification a few years ago with Country House, with Resilience off of that big win in the Wood Memorial last on a horse that has run here at Churchill twice, with a 2nd and a 3rd on his resume. Junior Alvarado slated to ride Resilience, looking for his first Kentucky Derby win. And it's interesting, the riders, Kevin, that are slated to ride in this year's Derby, I believe half of them at least are without a Derby win yet. So it's always nice to see a lot of that new blood. Junior Alvarado's had a sensational career, winning the Saudi Cup earlier this spring.
Yeah, of course. John Velasquez is going to ride Fierceness, the likely favorite here in the Derby, and he's been flying down to Florida to be on for the works the past 2 weeks as he flies back to Keeneland for his afternoon of races. So a lot of seriousness there, making sure to dot every I and cross every T as they try to get it done here. The Pletcher Barn, Mike Rapoli, definitely want to see Fierceness take care of business that first Saturday in May.
Yeah, Fierceness with a really good workout at Gulfstream Park yesterday. He will arrive at Churchill Downs this upcoming week along with the rest of the Todd Pletcher contingent. Sierra Leone currently training at Keeneland for Chad Brown. He will be here this coming week as well. So the designated training period is winding down. We mentioned earlier Just Steel with the workouts. D. Lucas, always great to see him in the Kentucky Derby. Just adds a little bit of flavor with the legend involved. And Just Steel, not surprisingly, the most experienced horse in the field.
Yeah, Just Steel has seasoning. Some of the knocks on these horses, maybe they don't have the season, haven't been tested, but was it 12 races for Just Steel, something along those lines. Hasn't proven to be able to get the win, second 3 times in his last 4 races, his 4 Derby preps at Oaklawn. So that's the big question mark. Does he have enough to get the win?
Jamie Torres aboard Just Steel here. Keith Asmussen scheduled to ride Just Steel in the Kentucky Derby, the son of trainer Steve Asmussen. 13-2, 37-1, 49-2, 113-4, and his official time 140 with Daily Grind, who started at the 5 furlong pole. Just Steel certainly can't knock his experience. He's run some big races. You would think the 1.25 miles would be within his scope. This is a horse that at least at this point, Kevin, I'm considering using in my tries and supers.
Yeah, he shows up every time, absolutely. He's matured in a big way. He's moved forward mentally, physically. He's going easy here. I like to see that. He's relaxed, and Jamie Torres up, looking good.
From the Kentucky Derby to the Kentucky Oaks, let's take a look at the leaderboard there. As you see, in one of the Oaks contenders with that pink saddle towel on, and Tarifa, again a horse that we're very familiar with, Kevin, from her wins not only in the Rachel Alexandra but the Fairgrounds Oaks, your points leader with 150 in the bank. Yeah,
Tarifa dominated the Fairgrounds Oaks and the Rachel Alexandra, proved the best of Cox's strong fillies with us there at Fairgrounds. The knock on her is maybe needs to relax a little bit more and show that she's got that mental maturity, but definitely physically she is all there.
Yeah, the cream has risen to the top in the Oaks field with Leslie's Rose, Just FYI, both running huge races in the Ashland. Thorpedo Anna for Ken McPeak looked awesome in her recent win at Oaklawn Park. As we flip the page here, 20 in the Derby, Kevin, 14 in the Kentucky Oaks, and Our Pretty Woman, the last of the 14, expected to be a speed factor. Ways and Means off the bench last time out for Chad Brown looked tremendous in Florida, running second in her off the bench performance. This is a good Oaks field, and you got a horse like Impel, who's really good, and Candied as well on the outside looking in. So we'll see who gets into the field when all was said and done, but looking very forward to this Oaks the first Friday in May.
Yeah, into Champaign, we'll see what Ian Wilkes decides to do with her. Distance may be the question mark. Our Pretty Woman definitely looking fantastic and should move forward off of that effort. Tried to hold off Tarifa in the Fairgrounds Oaks, just couldn't quite get it done, but a front runner that will be definitely a threat.
Speaking of Thorpedo Ann, I believe this is her, and she is scheduled to work here today. This is a horse that was dominant on debut at Keeneland, backed it up here at Churchill in an optional claiming A. Then both of those one-turn races. Then in the Goldenrod, Kevin, she went off at odds of 4-5 that day, ran second behind Intricate, who was awesome on in late November at Churchill Downs. And there was some question about her maybe as a two-turn horse. She's by Fast Anna, who, you know, as a stallion has been certainly more speed, one-turn-ish. But man, last time out in the Fantasy, the grade 2 at Oaklawn, she got a great trip from post position number 10. She stalked, she pounced, she drew away by 4 lengths and looked very good doing it visually.
Yeah, one of a few who made their first start as a 3-year-old in that final Oaks Prep available and looked fantastic getting it done there in the Fantasy. Over the winter at Fairgrounds, working with the likes of Mystic Dan and at times outworking Mystic Dan in the mornings. She definitely has the talent, a big time threat in here. So we'll see if the bettors sleep on Thorpedo Anna. I would not recommend it.
Yeah, she's going to work with Band of Gold here, I believe. And Band of Gold, also a nice 3-year-old filly in her own right, the stakes winner for trainer Ken McPeak. So we'll keep an eye on Thorpedo Anna. Your overall thoughts on the Oaks? I mentioned a couple of the horses. Kevin Leslie's Rose for Todd Pletcher, winning over Just FYI last time out in the Ashland. Just FYI, of course, your Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner, who's on the comeback trail herself and should step forward off of that needed race. A power squeeze, ways and means into Champaign, 1, 2, 3 in the Gulfstream Oaks. And then what about our Fairgrounds filly, Tarifa? Fairgrounds has been a hotbed for Kentucky Oaks winners over the course of the last 25 years or so.
Absolutely, we saw a Pretty Mischievous come through for Brendan Walsh and get it done. Godolphin's first Kentucky Oaks winner. Tarifa, you know, what I want to see from her is, can she relax, right? She definitely has the talent, but as we see Thorpedo Anna break off in pursuit, she was showing really good energy. You could see her on her toes and sort of dancing a little bit ahead of this. So I think she's got something to show us here today. Yeah,
interesting. And obviously by design, we see Band of Gold on the lead here as Kenny McPeak trying to give Thorpedo Anna a target. And we know that Thorpedo Anna has really good natural speed from the gate, but she also in the Fantasy showed rateability, Kevin. From post 10, she was marooned out there. She sat third early. She took over and she drew away. I mean, I like what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, you could just see how quickly she moved up.
In hand.
Just a really great move there in the turn. We'll see if she can keep it going here. She's going to run into a little bit of traffic maybe as we got a galloper in front of her.
Yeah, she switched leads really nicely off the turn there, and you know, remains in hand with Band of Gold on the inside. They don't want these horses to do too much. You know, they want to definitely push them a little bit as far as distance goes, as far as the gallops out go. But you see this horse remaining well in hand. Filly on her inside is also a nice horse and kind of shutting it down around the turn here.
Yeah, just you can see just that ease. Her cruising speed is just so high. How quickly she just moved forward ahead of that inside foe.
Nice gallop out
here.
Yeah,
this is great move by Thorpedo Anna. Ken McPeak, his 3-year-olds this year have been sensational. It could be a big first weekend in May for the McPeak barn.
Again, Brian Hernandez Jr., I believe on Thorpedo Anna here, which would make a lot of sense. Was aboard Mystic Dan earlier, gets back to the barn, comes back out, and was able to get on Thorpedo Anna towards the end of this designated training period for the Oaks and Derby horses. Again, Thorpedo Anna, I'm guessing you'd think it probably 4 choice in Kentucky Oaks, somewhere around there, maybe that 6-1 range. I'm guessing at that price, to me, she's certainly worth playing.
Yeah, I would think it may be a little bit higher. We'll see how it shakes out and the field shakes up. But Pretty Mischievous went off at 10-1 or something like that in the Oaks last year. So you never know with these prices.
All right, Kentucky Derby morning works designated time period is winding down here. We want to remind you about a couple of great promotions courtesy of Twin Spires. Again, you know, it's fast, it's safe, it's easy to use, and there's great promotions day in and day out from racetracks across the country, and they really step it up for Kentucky Derby week, including this money back offer. You know, Kevin, this money back offer, it's kind of like insurance on your win bet. So if you bet a horse to win and they run second or third and you opted in, you know, during the course of Kentucky Derby week all the way through the Derby, starting with opening night, you know, you get $10 back. It's like insurance on your win bet. You can bet a favorite or you can bet a long shot, but either way, you know, if they run second or third, you get your money back.
You get your money back. It's that first win bet that you make, so that's one thing to keep in mind, and $10 or more, right? But you get up to $10 back.
Make sure you check out the official rules and make sure you opt in to this great offer courtesy of Twin Spires. And then they've got another one, Kevin, that begins with Thurby. It's the $2,500 Thurby leaderboard competition. And I love these kinds of promotions because basically it asks you to make $10 win bets on all 8 races on a normal Thursday. We'll have more races, of course, on Thurby, but it's a competition. Your horse runs first, second, or third, you get points. Whoever gets the most points wins the lion's share of $2,500, and it's free to play. And of course, if you're betting $10 to win on horses and they win, you get that money in your account as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote some articles about these type of betting strategy for these type of tournaments that they do, and I really think the way to go is approach the favorites, right? Think about playing those more logical horses because you want to move up with the crowd in a situation like this because there's so much reward to getting those 100 points versus 50 or 25.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Make sure you check out all the great promotions at Twin Spires, the official betting partner of the Kentucky Derby. And Kentucky Derby 150 is right around the corner. In fact, 2 weeks from today, Kevin. And earlier I mentioned opening night coming up 1 week from today. And for the first time in the brand new paddock at Churchill Downs, and man, it's something to behold. We're going to have the draw for the Oaks and the Derby during our racing program.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It ties together so great with the building. I've been admiring it. You know, from the street, you can see the horses, and from the top, there's so many different spots where you can look down and peer into the paddock. It's gonna be really cool to see it on full display.
No doubt about it. The draw for the opening night card will be this coming Tuesday. Opening night 1 week from today. The Kentucky Derby 2 weeks from today. That's going to wrap it up for the Kentucky Derby Morning Work Show presented by Twin Spires. Caitlin Free will be in the seat tomorrow with lots of great action during our designated training period. On behalf of our staff, thanks for joining us here today. Look forward to the same time, same place tomorrow for the Kentucky Derby Morning Workout Show.